right? I want request her for adding points at the end. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapatakamelam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brinda Baneshwari Rishabhanu Suthe Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, where is my window? We're reading chapter 7. Okay, here is my window. Let me share my screen. Chapter 7, which is titled Son of Drona Punished. It was an interesting part here. The actual Bhagavatam is starting now. Basically, Narad Muni told Vyasdeva to fix the attention on the Lord in trance and write this exclusive literature, and that is going to bring actually revolution, not just transformation, revelation in the sinful lives of the people. And Vyasdeva just do the what Narad Muni says. It is called, he executed Amala without any mistakes. And then Narad Muni sees, now Vyasdeva sees the whole picture of spiritual world, material world, and people suffering, and sees, the living entity, all the transcendental to the modes of nature, undergoes the reactions of material miseries, but those miseries can be mitigated, directly mitigated by the linking process of devotion service. So he gives his Bhagavatam literature. And then there are further questions between the sages. They ask a lot about Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit and Bhagavatam, etc. Okay. Radhakund Bihari Prabhu is asking in the group about whether we have the session or not. Okay, so and so Suta Goswami starts answering. He's going to answer about marriage parikshit, and there is a quite a bit of detour, little bit, before he comes directly to the direct to directly answer the question the sages were asking, and then then the scene with Asadama happens. Asadama killed the 5 children, babies actually, and then as a Kshatriya, um, Arjuna promises to his wife, as a beautiful husband, and as a Kshatriya, I'm gonna get his head, and only after bathing your hair with his blood, then you can, continue the rest. So Arjuna goes with Supreme Lord Krishna as a chariot driver, and then um, uh, Aswadama's horses, Aswadama sees that his horses can no more and cannot go any long distance because they are getting wearing out. So then he finally releases Brahmastra. Brahmastra, uh, I was reading yesterday. It is explained as Brahma and Astra, which means that it out of all the Astras, it's the topmost, which Srila Prabhupada also says as nuclear weapon. So he releases it, but as per the codes, he should not have done it because he doesn't know how to retrieve it back. So now that's when we enter the text 21. I'm going to read translation, Sanskrit translation. Tada pradushkritam teja prachandam sarvato disham pranapadam abhiprekshya vishnum jishnur uvachaha. Tata thereafter pradushkritam disseminated, teja glare, prachandam fierce, sarvata all around, disham all directions, prana apadam affecting life, abhipreksha having observed it, Vishnu unto the Lord, Jishnu Arjuna, what said how in the past. I was just nice to hear about this word Jishnu, which means Arjuna. I just taking note. We have some devotees, children named Jishnu, which means Arjuna. So the translation says, thereupon a glaring light spread in all directions. That's the Brahmastra. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life in danger. And so he began to address Lord Shri Krishna. Some things to note in this verse is that this is just not a normal weapon. It's Brahmastra. It was more powerful than the nuclear weapon that that destroyed the whole Japan country. So when such kind of weapon is coming on Arjuna, he naturally thought of his own life in danger because it's very fierceful. Also, we have to note that this is, I believe, at least like most of the war is done, or after the war is done. In a sense, like Arjuna already heard Bhagavad Gita, and so much killing happened, and Arjuna is a very, very qualified person. So 2 points I want to share here. One point is, how Arjuna is a very qualified and he's a pure devotee. Still, he is getting into the problems. And recently, I was hearing from Rampada Maharaj. He was telling, from the 10th canto, there is all the stories of the demons, and he was explaining there that the the demon thing, was happening every day for Vajvas. Basically, they're getting trouble, every day, like morning, afternoon, evening. Hmm. So, that is something we can get, we can try to get accustomed, because usually there's a false expectation when you do devotion service, means everything goes sweet, sweet. Um, it may not be like, as we are seeing in the lives of these great pure devotees. Um, but something that we need to take is that how Krishna protects actually. So that's what Arjuna is doing here. And so he began to address Lord Shri Krishna. Okay. We'll go to text 22. Arjuna Vacha. He's going to offer a set of prayers from here, just a couple of verses and very beautiful prayers. We're going to cover on the first verse. So he says, Arjuna Vacha. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvameko Dahyamananam Apavargosi Sansmrute. Arjuna said, Arjuna said, Krishna, O Lord Krishna, Krishna, O Lord Krishna, Mahabaho, he who is almighty, Bhaktanam of the devotees, Abhayankara, eradicating the fears of Tvam, you, Eka, alone, Dahyamananam, those who are suffering from Apavarga, the path of liberation, Asi, or Samsrite, in the midst of material miseries. Arjuna said, Oh my Lord Shri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the heart of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. Take a note here, Krishna is still a chariot driver here, and Arjuna is a great warrior. And it is so inspiring how that great warrior, although Krishna is seemingly in this chariot driver situation, how wonderfully he's taking shelter of Krishna. And in addition to it, he already accomplished, once you already did the job, you don't really go for taking shelter. But Arjuna was nicely going and taking shelter. That's the biggest lesson for me to take. Purport. Arjuna was aware of the transcendental qualities of Lord Shri Krishna, as he had already experienced them during the Kurukshetra war, in which both of them were present. Therefore, Arjuna's version of Lord Krishna is authoritative. Krishna is almighty and is especially the cause of fearlessness for the devotee. A devotee of the Lord is always fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. Middle existence is something like a blazing fire in the forest, which can be extinguished only by the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna. The spiritual master is a mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of self-realized spiritual master. The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the heart of the suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, whoever knows me in truth, Tektva deham punajamana ayati mamet sarjuna. Like, Janma karma cha meve divyam evam yo vitti tatvata. Whoever knows me in truth, so they don't need to take birth again. Similarly, in the current situation, when we are bombarded, hopefully we realize that we are bombarded. Usually when bombarding situation happens, we forget everything and get into the default mode of defense and try to boost our false ego. But if we realize that we are in a danger, we are in a helpless situation, surely call out to Krishna And Prabhupada is explaining here. Arjuna has first-hand experience. We don't have first-hand experience, but Arjuna had first-hand experience because experience of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, because of the full explanation given in Bhagavad Gita, and he is seeing the universal form and whole elaboration. So therefore, Prabhupada is encouraging on the authority of Arjuna. Um, we can also devotee of the Lord, also fearless because of the protection given by the Lord. So we can also reach out the protection of the Lord. And the other point is, the dangerous situation is day to day, moment to moment in a way, maybe at least Sunday to Sandhya, or like noon to noon. So this blazing fire, it is very explained very nicely in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, how Prabhupada says, like, it's like in the blazing fire that happens without anyone's intervention. Like we know the California fires, there is this forest, there's a bamboo trees, and they come and, just the wind is blowing, they come and interact with each other. That's all. Like, how we interact with each other. And then just by interaction, boom, where fire comes. That's the situation in this world. Or anywhere, I guess, maybe in the spiritual world also. So we need Krishna's mercy. We cannot escape that. So that mercy is more available, actually only available through spiritual master. Prabhupada is telling spiritual master is the mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flame of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of self-realized spiritual master. And the power of spiritual master is, it's not, again, like as Krishna is looking normal here, like a chariot driver, but he's also not, normal human being like us. He has this power not only bring the mercy of the Lord, but he has by his words, he has the power to penetrate into the heart of the suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental. And very nice sentence, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence. We say in the starting of first prayer, in our prayers, Om Ajnana Timirandasya, really in the dark modes of ignorance, Timirandasya, Jnananchana Salakaya, and the spiritual master gives the medicine through this Jnananjana Shalakaya. Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It's already 7:20, so I just rushed it quickly. The summary points are the situation in the world is, like the bamboo thing, it's just bamboo trees. They don't have anything to do, but then in the air comes, and then just by interaction, the fire gets produced, and that's very common, especially in everyone's life. Especially we can see a lot in all our grahastha lives, whether it be with the spouse or children, or even when we go to the work, it just happens this way or that way. We can name different reasons. And that the blazing fire is not easy. That cannot be taken away by our own endeavors of fixing, or whatever material technology we have. We can mitigate it. Like I attended a Japa retreat over the weekend, and there's this nice explanation about liberation. Actually, the Vedas are telling liberation is actually nothing but it's a time of non-suffering. You're not you're not going through suffering. Or it is also explained like it's like a sleeping or dreaming. You just put everything shut and you just go into a different plane. So with our endeavors, we may at maximum come to that plane, but it won't really go away. Um, it will only go away only by the mercy of Krishna, and that mercy of Krishna is available through self-realized spiritual master. So, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Militamena Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur gives the um, tips for us how to take shelter of, how to go about taking shelter of Krishna through his devotees. Yashastri Sanjam, Vande Guru Shri Charnaramindam. Let me remember and glorify spiritual master 3 times a day, who is enabling Krishna. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya prasada nagati kuto vidyaya suvamstasya. Yashastri Sandhyam, Vande Guru Shri Charnaramindam. Let me remember the spiritual master. Let me remember and glorify 3 times a day. So, by that maybe we can come out of little bit of coverings. That's it from my side. So I guess we can have sharings before going to question or any discussion further. Anyone want to add something more? Enhance? A lot of devotees are there online.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for nicely summarizing in such a short time. This is one of my most favorite verse, particularly the mode in which Arjuna approaches. I feel like very relatable to at least the stage where I am at. It's not like pure devotee and Krishna, okay, whatever you so desire. I mean, that mood is there, but Arjuna is clearly asking, I'm going through this and you are the only shelter. So it's really nice how you connected to the spiritual master. And my other appreciation, I was actually hearing Prabhupada's class and he just spoke on that Samsmriti and Apavarga on like whole 1 hour plus. And as I was reading, I was inspired by this Twameko Dahyamananam. Like each line, we can speak for hours. It's that beauty of Bhagavatam, as Panduran Gopal Prabhu was speaking on that day, that verse. We were seeing each word, how potent and how amazing it can literally, give us that shelter. Um, yeah, that prayer is the essential thing that's coming to me, Prabhu, again and again. And was just thinking about this fearlessness as we all were going through this situation of accepting His Holiness Bhaktichar Maharaj is leaving all of us. It's such a wonderful example of this fearlessness and how uh, these pure devotees, they are able to have the shelter, and that's what is really giving them the fearlessness. So for me, that's like living example from these pages of Bhagavatam. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Bhakti Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Um, what I wanted to share is number one, Arjuna knows how to withdraw Brahmastra, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So, what I want to relate to is knowledge versus surrender. So, even though Arjuna knows so much, he is very good in the Shastra, like meaning um, the archery. He's the topmost on the archery, and he had so many um,
Topmost warrior.
boons given by different gods, Indra and Lord Shiva, and he conquered a lot of other um, out outwardly, powers. But
mm,
still, even though he knows how to withdraw, the first thing he came to that came to his mind is to pray to Krishna,
mm,
like surrender to Krishna. So immediately try to find that shelter. Many
mm,
times, right, we have the doer mentality, like, okay, I am doing this, this is my effort, and the
yeah.
result is because of that effort.
And we
And
are encouraged to do that.
of course, but still,
Mm,
the concept of, I mean, it took me so many years to surrender. I mean, to come to that. I'm not there yet. I still struggle with that headstrong,
mm,
um, attitude. But so I'm appreciating that Arjuna. That really we have to learn a lot from this. I mean, I have to learn a lot from this verse, that Arjuna surrendering to Krishna immediately is like, it's like yeah, it's like a mind opening for me.
mm,
And so going out of I mean, the second part is, the way you guys surrendered to Srimad Bhagavatam is very inspiring for me.
mm,
The way, so I recently started Srimad Bhagavatam with my two children.
mm,
They are my associates, right? They are
mhm.
my devotee association at home.
Yeah.
And Priyanka is really enthusiast, but because of two different age groups, I'm struggling to, because it's slow for Priyanka, and I have to explain a lot of questions from Nainika. So
Mm,
she's feeling like little, so I'm like trying to see, is there any reading group that Priyanka can join that is going on from the beginning, or can we start one group for teenage kids? I don't know if Mukunda Prabhu has a group already. So
yeah. Actually, that's a wonderful idea. I mean, we are really loving, the Bhagavatam reading groups. It's just it's just a flexible model. Uh, of course, maybe like you can check with Mukunda Prabhu Mataji
yes, Prabhu, I will
and
do that.
Balram Prasad Prabhu children also. Uh, they can also have it. It's so nice. We're already like our group. I mean, most of us are on 13 chapter now. We just
Mm.
started Gaur Purnima.
We just started at home, so mean I'm reading and then I'm going with them again, and we are all three reading sitting together. But the pace is different. My pace, Priyanka's pace, and Anika's pace are different, right? Because of the age group and understanding and all that. So yeah, I will reach out to Mukunda Prabhu definitely. But I just wanted
But,
to share that you guys are really inspiring.
mm,
I had this desire to preach, but I don't have an opportunity. So
mm,
then I was like, why I'm feeling like this? Why I have to I sign up for every class and all, why I'm like volunteering to do and all. So
mm,
recently I realized that I think I should do it every day with my children. That's how I satisfy my desire to read
yeah,
and preach. So that's where that was my realization recently, that
yeah.
so just wanted to share. And thank you very much, Prabhuji, for
Sure,
sharing.
ma'am. I mean, from our side, it's obligation, Mataji. I guess like being book distributors, it's very different when we distributed, our faith in Shastra really, um, you know, en- enhanced actually. So because it is an obligation, to share that with the devotee community. Uh, you know, my personal quote always is when you go on telling someone about Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam is really is person and feeling obliged, to give more access to Bhagavatam. So that, so like these books are really helping us. So it's part of a duty we want to, share to the community. This is what happening like that on the facility. And just to enhance the point of Arjuna taking shelter, interestingly, in couple of verses, not only offers prayers when the Brahmastra is released, not only offers prayers, actually he goes and circumambulates to Krishna. I think like where does he have the time to go and circumambulate?
Yes.
So yeah, but that's the standard, the setting. We don't know more details on it, but yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Thanks, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
We'll go for another 5 minutes. Any quick thing? 7:33. I get a lot of feedback because I cut very abruptly and then things like that. But yeah, that's my.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, thank you for nicely just what devotees are appreciating how you tied it all together. The point that you made, which really resonated with me, is how we come to devotional service and we want everything to go smoothly. Everything should be like a smooth sail.
Yeah.
And because we bring, I feel like because we have this fruitive mentality, personally I'm speaking for myself, because we see that in material relationship, it's always kind of like give and take. So we were like, okay, when we give, the other person also gives. And I tend to have that mentality in devotional service, that I'm chanting and I'm doing services, I'm this. So every Krishna should reciprocate in same way. But then you also brought the point that this material world is like a blazing fire. Even though we don't want it, miseries come at their own accord. And also the solution you brought out, that the only way to mitigate that is have a spiritual master, mercy of spiritual master. So like all those points really resonated and appreciated. Thank you.
One thing I want to share, there is nothing wrong, having expectation from Krishna, give and take, as we expect from people. Because the reason is, even the normal people are, so much inclined to give, what to speak of Krishna's inclination to give. It is, it's a lot. Krishna is always, his Atma Rama. He doesn't have anything for himself. When you're trying to do something for self-realized person, and then I'm a self-satisfied person, they want to give a lot actually. But only thing is, like as a children, right? Our scope is very limited. Children are happy only, when they get the toys or something like that. But the parent is always calculating how to take care of the college, how to, maybe, get a car or a nice wife or husband, the bigger terms, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, especially when it comes to Krishna, the scope is much larger. It's in a way, it's inconceivable. Like in the Narad Muni's, the very recent example, Narad Muni, such high grade activity he does, and it looks like a big curse, because there is only one person for him, that is his mother, and there is only one person for his mother, that's him. And he is just a 5 years boy, and then she is just a maid servant, simple and very, very, very nice person. And after all the high grade activity, once something happens, is that she was just bitten by a snake. It's not at all nice, actually. But Narad Muni sees that, he tunes into the Krishna's benedictory mode, and he sees that, okay, he's opening up the full door for me. So that fits into the today's Prabhupada explaining here. Where is it? He says that Arjuna was aware of the transcendental qualities of Lord Shri Krishna. So it's in our part, to educate ourselves from Guru Sadhu Shastra, who is Krishna actually is, and then hopefully, then we get the power to see his benedictory hands. right? The similar thing with Queen Kunti it's going to come. She says like, we want you, let the problems come, because she's able to understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. Okay. 7:38. Anyone in wants to drop can drop. Any questions at this point? Okay, so that's nice. If you have more questions also, Rumpal Maharaj is coming in 2 days, and you can happily get clarified all your deepest questions from his expertise. Thank you all very, very much for letting me offer this small service. Hare Krishna.